Hey guys, I'm Emma, and I'm going to talk to you about the moment when I hated my boyfriend's mother. A lot. My boyfriend Charlie and I met in our second semester of college, and we immediately hit it off. We enjoyed playing tennis, going to the museum, watching healthy food TV shows while eating brownies and pizza. That last one was a particular favorite. We each had our own apartments that we shared with roommates. It was a cool and open minded experience. Since, after all, sharing your day to day life with different people exposes you to a lot of weird and awesome stuff. And to keep it awesome, we established certain boundaries too, such as never entering a friend's room when she or he has someone over. Some things are better to keep private, right? Well, I wish my boyfriend's mother had understood that a little better. Charlie and I had been together for more than a year, and I still had not met his parents. Summer vacation came, and he asked me to go with him back to his hometown and meet them. I realized, though, that I didn't know very much about them in advance. Charlie rarely talked about his family. We were on a plane to go back to his hometown, and he warned me about his mom, Lucille. He told me she was very conservative, and that I shouldn't take any comment from her or her attitude personal. I also knew what that meant for us. I met both of his parents, and I thought Charlie was exaggerating. Sure, they both seemed like typical conservative, go to church every Sunday type people, but nothing too different or out of the norm. They were really nice and welcoming. Lucille always wore nice dresses, and Joel, his father, was a hell of a cook. They made us sleep in different rooms, naturally. I kind of expected that one. With my parents, it was fine for us to sleep in the same room. I knew and considered it as normal, as, well, I'm already an adult, and what else did they think we were doing? Still, I didn't mind it. It was their house, and I wanted to respect their rules. Mostly. A couple of times I snuck into Charlie's room to have some fun. Doing whatever. And one night, it happened. We were, you know, and Charlie's mom came barging in without knocking with the lame excuse of looking for the TV remote. And, yep, she saw it all. Charlie was shirtless, wearing my heels and one of my skirts and a bit of makeup. She screamed. I've never seen such a crazy look in anybody's eyes. Charlie felt so ashamed. His mom was freaking out, telling Charlie to stop whatever he was doing and put on his damn clothes, and demanded me to get out of the house. Charlie was trying to explain what we do. He cross-dresses, and that's kind of what we're into. But she wouldn't let him speak. She was bawling. In case you didn't know, cross-dressing is the act where people wear items of clothing usually associated with the opposite sex. It has nothing to do with one's sexual orientation. But Lucille couldn't understand that. She is very close-minded. She thought, or still thinks, I was trying to turn Charlie gay, which is not true, and I'm not sure that it's even possible. Joel heard the screams and rushed upstairs. He saw the scene, and in a split second, his face was filled with confusion. He tried to calm his wife down. After a couple of minutes, he succeeded. Now they were waiting for an explanation. We tried to explain that we had some other friends who cross-dressed, and, well, we started trying it. At first, it just made us giggle, watching each other try to swap clothes. And then it started to make us feel roused. Like foreplay. It wasn't a big deal. But Lucille did not understand. Hate filled her eyes, and it was directed towards me. She couldn't hold it back anymore and started screaming again. She said she was disgusted of Charlie, that we both made her sick. She asked me to leave the house for a couple of hours because she wanted to be alone to talk with her son. I left and got some coffee. When I came back, Charlie was outside holding both of our bags, crying. He told me that Lucille was demanding that he stopped cross-dressing and that we break up because it was what was best for him. Charlie refused and she kicked him out of the house. She said, "If this is the real you, I wish I never had you." Those words cut him like 1,000 knives. Charlie's parents had been helping him with tuition, but he didn't want to owe anything to his mother. So he quit school and got a good job in computer programming. I guess he and his family didn't talk to each other for months, until his mom called to apologize. To both of us. We accepted the apology. I understand that everyone wasn't raised the same way, And even if you were, that doesn't mean you'll end up thinking the same. People have different beliefs and values. That's what makes us human. I learned that you can't change people if they themselves don't want to change. That's why we couldn't convince Lucille. She had to figure it out at her own pace. And I'm really glad she did. Hi, my name is Sandra, and winning the lottery shattered my relationship with my family. Of course, it was and still is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. But nothing in life comes without consequences. My parents started giving us allowance when I was 9 and when my brother Quentin was 12. It was supposed to cover any personal spending needs, which when you're a kid basically means it's the money that mom and dad give you to buy candy or play at the arcade, and you do house chores in exchange for that. For me, it meant mostly doing the dishes. But for Quentin, it meant taking out the trash and mowing the lawn. I guess it wasn't really that much money, but over the years it increased and became enough for us to have a nice little savings so we could get things like clothes and video games. At least, that's what I did. My brother Quentin has always been a bad apple. He'd buy video games too. He bought a bunch of them, actually. Too many, I would say. Nice clothes wasn't really his deal. But instead of a cool jacket that would last for years, he would prefer to spend his money on drugs that would last him for, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours. That's his deal. Anyways, every time it looks like he's about to get in really big trouble, he manages to manipulate my parents and make them think he's some sort of victim. He went through several therapists after convincing my parents that he was depressed, and every single one of them told my parents that Quentin was lying, which is pretty bold. Mom and Dad still believed my brother for some strange reason that I've never understood. So it wasn't surprising when Quentin stole almost all of my savings and convinced my family that I had lost it. For some reason, they decided to believe the pathological liar in the family instead of the good kid, because I tried to explain to them that he took it from one of my drawers, and then they said that wasn't even possible, and it's my fault for being irresponsible because I didn't keep the money in a safe place. Can you believe that? They basically condoned him of robbery. Quentin took almost $500 from me. He left me with less than $10. I guess that was kind of them to leave me something. Or maybe he just didn't see the coins. I was so pissed that I needed to leave home for a while, so I took a walk just to calm myself down. I stopped at the mini market and I spent my last few bucks. I grabbed a Coke and a lottery ticket. It was close to the cashier and I thought, whatever, I have nothing else to lose, right? I picked the one that started on 17 and finished on 25, my two favorite numbers. I just turned 18 and half of the money that Quentin had taken from me was birthday money. It really, really sucked, and I didn't think much about the lottery ticket. When I got home, the first thing I saw was Quentin playing a video game on a brand new iPad. I stared at him for a while until he noticed me. And then he said, "Do you want to play, sis? And thank you for the gift." I took a pillow from the couch and I threw it at his face. My mom yelled at me, but I was so mad that I didn't even care. I went to my bedroom, packed some clothes, and then I went to my friend Lucy's house to spend the night. The next morning, we all had breakfast together with Lucy and her family. Pancakes and bacon can cheer anybody up. Her dad was reading the newspaper, and I saw the lottery results on the back of the page. What? I almost choked on my orange juice when I saw that one of the winning tickets started on 17 and ended on 25. I quickly got the ticket, and I was kind of skeptical, but then I started to compare it to the newspaper, and after a few minutes, I realized I won the lottery. 17, 19, 21, 23, 25. Those were my numbers. Lucy came with me to the lottery agency to claim the prize, and I needed to fill out some forms and then had an attorney that signed some of the papers for me. I couldn't believe this. Then, after that, they gave me a big fat check for $24 million. Well, okay, let's not get too excited. It was more like 12 or 13 million after taxes, but it was still 12 or 13 million dollars. A journalist from the newspaper came to take my picture. Suck on that, Quentin. The first thing I did with all of the money was buy a couple presents for Lucy and her family. Then I went home, I packed all my stuff, I got an apartment, and I moved out. I didn't want to be with my family anymore, and I figured now I had enough money to buy a house, but at least in the meantime, I would be away from them. Lucy wanted to move in with me, and I figured why the heck not? We really enjoy this nice apartment downtown, and like I said, I'll be looking for a house later and maybe she can move with me there too. You can do a lot of things with $12 million, but I don't want to be like those people who lose everything after winning the lottery. So I did what any other rational person would do. I bought a Tesla. And then I found a financial advisor to help me invest and keep the earnings that I'd won and basically make it so that I can live off of my winnings for the rest of my life. I know you guys might be wondering, what about Quentin? Well, I actually, believe it or not, paid off my family. I gave $1 million to my parents on the condition that they never asked me for anything else and that they never let Quentin ever talk to me again. I blocked him on my phone and on social media, and I told him that if he needs to get a hold of me for any reason, he can talk to my lawyer. Feel free to judge me, but I think I did the right thing, and my life is a lot happier without all of that drama. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and comment below. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.